Hello Fearless Babes, and welcome back to Fearlessly Fun. I'm Fallon, and in today's video we're going to do something a little different. I kind of wanted to do my first sit down talk video. I just want to talk about how I lost my pet rabbit a little over a year ago. I had gotten a male Holland Lop when I was a senior in high school. I really wanted one because I was helping care for my oldest sister's rabbit when she was in college, and then she passed and she lived to be like I think 9 years old. I didn't have a rabbit for a whole year. That was really like mine to take care of. I just grew up loving rabbits because my sisters raised them. They always took them to the fair and they would show them. That's kind of how my love of rabbits began, with my sisters, because I just love their bunnies. They're just so cute and furry and fluffy and tiny. I asked my parents if I could get my own rabbit, and they're like, yeah, that's fine. The reason I decided to get one was because I knew for sure that I was going to go to college online. Since I knew I would be home all through my 4 years of college, I would be able to take care of this rabbit. So my sisters helped me look up online different rabbit breeders, and I really liked the Holland Lop breeds, or the mini Lop breeds. I think they're one of the cutest. One of my older sisters found that there was a man and he had a litter. I think they were all males. My dad drove me and my sister over to pick the rabbit up, and the rabbit was a boy. He was a Harlequin Holland Lop. Cutest thing. I named my rabbit Harley after Harley Quinn because I really like her as a character. I brought him home. He was literally my best friend. I would let him, you know, play for hours on end. And he was little, he'd be so shy when he would be around me because he wasn't used to me, because he was literally like this big when I got him. He would take his ears and he would like kind of cover his eyes. He was so precious. He's definitely one of the sweetest rabbits I've had, and I think he was like one of our first male rabbits that we've ever had, because my sisters always had female rabbits. I got to know him, he got to know me. He even got him a cat tunnel for him to run through, and he loved that thing, and he liked to rub his little chin on the bell and it would like go back and forth. He adored that tunnel. He was literally like my best friend, one of the best companions you could have. The sweetest rabbit. He would loved attention. He would even squeak sometimes when I would give him the extra food throughout the day. He would jump and do the twists, and he would also squeak doing that, and he would grunt a lot. It was the most precious thing. Have a lot of good memories with him, trying to remember them so obviously I don't forget. So they are a lot of work, but there's a lot of joy with rabbits. My family's always had pet dogs, and those were like all of ours. It was just like a family pet, so the fact that I got to get a rabbit was super exciting for me because he was like my own pet, my first own pet. I'm like, ooh, adulting. He lived to be about, I want to say 4.5 years, which I was really surprised because I thought, you know, he would have lived longer. I was hoping he would have had a lifespan of like my sister's previous rabbits, where they would live to be like 9 to 10 years old, but unfortunately that was not the case for him. I wanted to talk about like the whole process of how he passed and everything, which I don't really know how. It was a very weird thing. I just wanted to talk with you guys about it because I know some people go through that, and I thought, well, maybe it could help some people, and I personally am still working with it. I want to say it was my very last year of college. He was born April 24th, 2017, and he passed away on September 30th, 2021. He was perfectly fine. He did get gas sometimes. I think for some odd reason his breed was really prone to getting gas. He would have like tummy problems, and I would take him to the vet. Obviously he would get medicine, so we had that like 3 times, but he was perfectly fine. Everything was going great, and then my family went on vacation that week he had passed. We went on vacation to a cabin. He was perfectly fine. We had a neighbor come over and feed the rabbits and everything, and then I came home. He was still fine, jumping around, excited. He was a very energetic bunny, so he was always excited when he saw people walk by. He was very friendly. We got back from vacation, and that night he was fine when I went down, you know, gave him some extra hay and some food. And then it was so weird. I woke up in the morning, and then one of my sisters came up really early, and they were like, oh, I hate to tell you this, but somehow Harley passed. And I was literally devastated because he was perfectly fine the night before. I was like, what? That doesn't make any sense. Something weird just happened where he literally just passed. And I don't know why. I still don't know why. It still kind of bothers me because I like wish I knew what happened. You think to yourself, was there like something maybe I could have done? Like, I don't know, should I have taken him to the vet before? I was literally shattered. I cried for like 2 hours. I had such a hard time focusing on doing anything because I was still trying to do schoolwork. I had work that day and I called it off. I just couldn't go with what happened. I literally felt like crying like the entire day it happened. It was just really hard on me because he was my first pet. I was so attached to him. I knew him for like 4.5 years, and I literally thought he was gonna live to be 9 or 10. But he didn't. I'm still a little traumatized by the whole situation because my family went on vacation and I wasn't there for those last couple days he had when he was alive. I wish I was there in his last few days, but I wasn't. And I still think about that. It makes me sad. But obviously, you know, he crossed the rainbow bridge and all that. I don't know if there was anything I could have done different. He was just my best friend. Sorry. It's really hard to talk about for me. I know it happened like a year ago, but it still really affects me. My mom was like, oh, you know, we had cremated our dog previously, who passed away my first year of college. I thought about it. I'm like, you know, I kind of want to do that. That way, he's in an urn and I can just take him with me. I thought that was a nice idea. I couldn't take him because I was too emotional. I asked my dad to take him to our local vet. They have a connection with a cremation service. We put him in a box and everything. I said my goodbyes, and I think it took maybe about a week or so for his urn to come back. You can either do a private cremation service or you could do a communal, which is where they like cremate a bunch of pets and put them all in like one area for people. But I wanted a personal one so that I could take him with me. They do it based on like the weight of your pet. So like if your pet is under 5 pounds, it's a certain price, and if they're over that, it costs more. I do have a memorial on my dresser. I got to pick a quote for him, which I'll show you in just a second, that I have on his box. I also got him different wreaths for the season. So I have one for fall that I set and then I put his urn on top of, and then I like to wrap him in lights. So I have like these maple leaf lights I put on top of his urn. For Christmas I bought him a winter wreath, and then I got him some stars with fake snow wrapped around him that are lights. And then I did just purchase a really cute spring wreath for him. I just like to make a space for him. It's kind of like how for humans, you know, people like bring flowers to graves. So I kind of want to do something for that, but for my bunny. He did teach me a lot and taught me like how to be patient, love unconditionally, and how to be more responsible. My sister also got me a painting of me holding him from a girl who makes custom like portraits, and I have that also sitting next to his urn. So I have like a little spot on my dresser for him. He was only a under 5 pound rabbit. I think he was like Air Force. So this is what his urn looks like. So it's just really little. It's in this really gorgeous deep brown wood, and he's very lightweight. They say in loving memory, and then they put the name of your pet on it. Mine says Harley. And the quote I chose for him was, if love could have saved you, you would have lived forever. And then I had the date he was born and then the date he passed away. When they give you your urn, they also give you a little envelope with a letter, and they put your pet's name on it. When I did this process, they gave me this little card. They just say that it's your certificate of cremation. This is to certify that Harley, and when he was cremated on October 5th, 2021. And they put his identification number, and then they have the name of the cremation service. So the one that our local vet has a connection with is the Pet Cremation Services Incorporation, which is in Columbus, Ohio. And they also give you this really nice card that says that many people will walk in and out of your life, but only a true friend will leave paw prints in your heart. Please accept the attached half heart with our compliments. The other half of the charm has been placed in the cremains of your pet. May this token of your mutual love live forever. So I thought it was really beautifully done, his cremation and everything. This is the little heart that they give you. It has a dove on it, and the other half is in the urn with your pet. So I thought that was really nice, and I like to carry this around with me in my wallet, so it's always near me. On the bottom of the urn, they have it screwed in right here so that nothing falls out, and then they just have the cremation service on it, Harley, the date of his cremation, his ID number, and who performed the cremation. So I did decide to cremate him just because I want him to be with me. Sometimes, you know, I just like to talk to him because I like to think he's still hanging around sometimes. And I also have a wooden heart bowl that my sister got me. She also bought me like a little jar, and I have some of his fur, and it's just a keepsake because I'm sentimental like that. Losing a pet is not easy, and everyone deals with it differently, grieves differently. For me, it's still affecting me. It really never goes away, losing a pet. I mean, some days are better than others. Sometimes it's really hard. I just have had such a hard time dealing with it that I've also started investing in some crystals that help with emotional wounds or emotional trauma, so I'm hoping that it'll help me. But one thing that also really helped me was trying to like keep busy. When I'd be driving to work alone, it's all I could think of. I would literally almost start crying in the car. One thing that really helped me though was like listening to music. So I listened to a lot of Five Sauce and Ashton's music, Luke, so that really helped me. But there's, I mean, lots of different things you can do to cope, you know, like try to clear your mind is really the best advice I can think of, but I mean, it's like really difficult. So like I try to focus on schoolwork or, you know, listening to music, reading, anything like that to try and help. It's still there, the pain, it's hard to deal with. And it's just been a roller coaster of a ride of emotions for me. So I try to look at the positive side of things, you know, like he did have a really great life. I loved him so much, and now he's obviously in a better place. It's never been the same without him, and I was really sad. So I thought about potentially getting another rabbit just because I missed having a pet to take care of, and so I just missed that. I thought about it, and then that December after he passed, I did decide to get another rabbit, and I got one from my local humane society, which I will do a whole other video on. It's just not the same though, obviously a completely different rabbit and everything, but I think he's helped a little. I'm just a really sensitive person, so everything just affects me so much. I was like, oh my gosh, how am I gonna, you know, like keep going forward? Because I mean, I've lost other pets before, but I was like so little, like middle school, so I honestly don't remember this as much. But maybe because I'm older and he was my personal rabbit and I had him for like 4.5 years, it really affected me differently than any of my sister's pets passing, just because I didn't personally take care of their pets. I have cried a lot, I'm gonna be honest, and you know what, it's fine. Get those emotions out. That is my story of losing my pet rabbit, Harley. I know it wasn't really a happy video, but I just want to share my story. So thank you so much for watching my video, and I will see you in the next one.